At 78 years old, I've been so far this year the cover of 2. Oh, I can't believe this. Well, I guess the universe is celebrating the fact that I was cover girl for 2 magazines and the proud author of Women Thrive 3. Hi, everybody. This is Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans on QVC and HSN. But today, the proud host of Fashion Thursdays with Diane. I want to start out by saying that this is going to be a really from the heart kind of podcast today because it is the power of intention in your wardrobe and mindful dressing. I will explain that in a minute, and part of that explanation is bravo to all 12 female authors. We have just published on Amazon. We published and came out #1 on Kindle and #1 women over 50 on Amazon with our book, Women Thrive 3. 12 authors, 12 very special and different life challenges, including mine, which is about breast cancer. And you will find it a very surprising chapter. And the beauty of having women come together and share. So, what is the power of intention in your wardrobe? And I'm going to backpedal a minute to 2 stories. The first one is one of the authors, and we're all meeting to celebrate the book and launch it in Europe. We're all meeting in London in 2 weeks. And for me, it's all about the wardrobe I take with me. I don't think there's a suitcase ever built big enough, but okay. And one of the authors came to me and said, Diane, I recently lost 4 dress sizes, bravo, and I don't know what to bring, and I don't know what to wear, and. And, I think my answer was terrifying to her because I said, dress for who you want to be. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got, and it was from a fairly crazy woman. She was at one time the wife of Elvis Presley's manager, not Colonel Parker's wife, but like his West Coast manager. And I knew her, and she was never particularly glamorous or anything in real life. I barely noticed, but she understood the idea of intentional wardrobe and public imaging. And for the public, she would wear these giant hats and these gorgeous suits and beautiful long dresses. Well, it turned out that she created this whole alter ego who was going to marry Richard Burton in between his divorces from Elizabeth Taylor. She eventually kind of got arrested for, she must have been one of the first creators of however you would Photoshop. So she'd Photoshop herself into a picture of him on a yacht, and she'd be wearing this incredible Parisian Pucci caftan and this giant sun hat and tons of jewelry. And before she got in trouble with the law for this, she had a cease and desist. I think she was one of the original stalkers. I said, why are you doing this? I mean, for me, everything was honest. If what you were in real life should be what you showed to the press. And she said, darling, be who you want to be. And I thought, oh, who do I want to be? Well, going to London, here's what I said to one of the other authors, and it stands so true. Create a new you. You're going to Europe. You're going to meet press. You're going to meet local merchants. You're going to meet local females who have power, who have accrued their own power. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be great, charming Southern belle? She's from the South, has a great accent. Do you want to be urban mover and shaker? Do you want to be corporate CEO? Do you want to be best mom in the world, best grandma in the world? Who do you want to be? Because that is the power of intentional dressing. And I think it's very refreshing in a way that you don't have to put this out in everyday life. But here's my thought pattern. I'm going to London. We're going to have 2 events where you're meeting everybody you can meet. And you're going to get up on a stage and you're going to have to give a 20 to 30-minute speech about what your chapter is. And okay. So first thing I ask myself is, what is my best feature and how am I going to play off that? Best feature, I think, for me, is my hair. So I'm going to do everything I can with the outfits I put together to highlight this big mass of white hair, to highlight it, to strengthen the look, to build on it. And there's my drama. And then my other question to myself is, what is going to be my hero piece in my wardrobe that I pack? And intentionally, I'm going to choose maybe the 2 best blazers I've ever had in my life. The best shapes, the highest end, identifiable. One of them is a Gucci blazer. I'm going to admit it. It has G's all over it. And I just love it. I love a blazer because my identity is successful career woman. And that really says it for me. My hair evokes power and also sophistication. So now that marries together with successful businesswoman. And then I'm going to bring a couple of really crazy things. I would like it to all be neutral, but everyone is like, no, you've got to wear color. So I have a couple of things that are multicolored, strong color. And those are going to be my casual pieces for my sightseeing days, for the days when you're not meeting other power women. But when you talk about the power of intention in your wardrobe, you can honestly change the perception of everybody around you as to who you are. What is your purpose in life? What road are you taking? And I love the fact that for my personal journey, my dressing is always so mindful. What mood do I want to create? Maybe one night that we're out, or when I'm giving the speech, it's going to be someone who's really mindfully set on a path and in control. Woman in control. On a daytime point, it could be boosting your mood and the whole atmosphere around you with something bright and bold and multicolored, which surprisingly enough looks really pretty good with white hair. And my practical advice is find that power piece that makes you feel comfortable, that gives you that female sense of empowerment. And you know what? You can closet shop for that. I like to go on the internet and go to a lot of high-end sites and see what everybody has to offer and think, okay, oh, I like that. Oh, that gives a good message. Oh, I like that. And then start to go through my closet and start to put it together. Oh, that blazer could work. Oh, yeah. And the other thing that for me, total hero piece is a skinny bottom. So I like a top that comes down to at least the top of the thighs, if not mid-thigh. and controls the whole viewpoint through my middle, and actually makes for no viewpoint through my middle. I got to hide that part of my body, just honestly. And then my legs are skinny, so it's a good look for me. I am definitely going to bring a black trouser, a beige pair of leggings, a black pair of leggings, because all supermodels in New York are wearing leggings now instead of trousers as a statement, but some restaurants aren't going to accept that. I'm definitely bringing skinny jeans, because that European outfit of a great blazer, simple layering piece, skinny jean, status loafer, good watch on your wrist, maybe status handbag, can't beat it. I want simplicity. I want directness. I don't want you to mistake me for anything but a woman who has worked towards her goals her entire life and is now not only powerful but comfortable in her own skin. Because I am actually, and nobody will believe this, and some of you will be laughing, I am actually an incredibly shy person. If you put me in front of a camera, I'm okay. But if you asked me to meet you in a restaurant or a bar and I had to arrive alone, I would make sure I was 15 minutes late so I wouldn't be alone when I arrived. I can't. I'm unbelievably shy. So for me, mindful dressing with intention, manifesting my message through fashion is perfect. I don't have to go up to strangers and talk to them. I can just sort of stand there quietly and people will assess me. And so to me, it's not only how to identify yourself through fashion, which you absolutely can, but it's also to let people know that I would like them to approach me. So I can't get too scary. Of course, if it was up to me, I would be taking all black to London, but it's not the friendliest color alive, and it's not a come talk to me, come see me, come on in and be with me kind of color. So I'm going to go for neutral beige. I'm going to go for the best trench coat I own, which is 20 years old, and I bought at Zara in Las Vegas, and I still love. I'm going to bring clothes that I know are not going to show off my worst parts, that spare tire around my middle, but my best parts, my legs and my hair. And, you know, I think that 5 years ago, if you had shown me the Gucci blazer I bought with the tapestry G's all through it, I would have said, oh, are you kidding me? I'm not wearing an advertisement for another brand like that, but I am today. Because when you go to Europe, it's such a different culture. It's such a different lifestyle, whether it's England or it's London or Milan or Paris. And that's a calling card. That is a status calling card that speaks to it for itself. And maybe if you've been in the corporate world all your life, that becomes very easy to closet shop for, because you had to buy a couple of those blazers that were really top end for that special board meeting, for that great convention presentation. I also want to say that one thing you do need to analyze along with all of this is, what is your signature style? For me, it is a blazer and a skinny pair of jeans on the bottom and a status loafer. So I know my territory. Therefore, I can kind of sink into it and be very authentic without being kind of uncomfortable and squirmy the whole time. And what event is this going to work for? Well, for me, it's the first time since COVID began in 2016, end of 2016, 2017, first time I've been back to Europe. So for me, it is also a social media event. It's a PR event. It's a getting up on stage and giving a live speech event, which is very unusual for me. I'm usually doing this remotely, and I need confidence building clothes, but I need clothing that also speaks to me. It speaks for me, speaks with me, and lends me a hand in how to identify myself to the public. Now, you may be saying, okay, I've got a June wedding to go to. My grandson is graduating. Those may be your events, and those are big events in your life. I am not a girly girl. I am not a flowered dress person, but I'll tell you what, I don't discount it. If you ask me if I'm bringing a dress to Europe, no, I'm bringing a wrap dress with a very modern pattern on it, but I have 7 inches cut off of it, so it's not a dress. It's a tunic top. Now, I am just not a dress person. And I don't want to have to worry about covering up veins in my legs and not having really tan legs. And I can't wear high heels anymore. I've got an injured knee. So for me, I know how I'm going to operate best. But you may be going to an outdoor wedding, outdoor graduation, a party afterwards, a celebration, and you may be a dress girl. And in that case, I have to say, truly, you are lucky. It is a year of the dress. And there are some pretty fabulous dresses out there. I particularly like them either in a very stretchy knit that looks like a silk knit, or I love a cotton voile. I actually love a linen if they can make it a little bit wrinkle resistant. And then I say, go for a midi. If you are 50 or over, and that's our conversation today, or even 40 and over, I think short dresses, they can be a good statement for showing off your legs. But I think a midi dress, especially one that's kind of full and flowing, really captures the moment in fashion and also relaxation. Now, when we talk about mindful dressing, we're not really talking about conventional dressing, and I'll tell you why. Because you are individualizing yourself. You are sitting down and thinking, okay, not only what are my best features, what are my intentions here? It could be to look younger, could be to look relaxed and chill, could be to look more powerful. Whatever it is, take a moment. There'll be that moment in the day when you're not doing anything, you're sort of turned off to all the tensions of the world, and ask yourself, because you can give permission to you to manifest the woman you think you should be and the woman you want to be. So for me, I want to be international female fashion designer, CEO, and I'm going to dress to those PowerPoints. I also want you to think about what is your best feature. For me, I said it was my hair. It might, for you, be your skin or your cheekbones or the beautiful tan you get every summer. But you've got to put together in a mindful manner your best feature, your most favorite go-to fashion piece for most of your adult womanhood. For me, it's a blazer and a skinny pant. For you, it may be your celebration of femininity, and you want a dress, and you want a floral dress, and you want a dress in a shade of pink. And I'm still not over Barbie pink. I still love it. I still crave it. And actually, I still wear it all the time. And that even in blazers, with a really washed out chambray jean. And that probably is my one nod to girly girl stuff, is I'm just wild about pink. It just changes the whole mood. And then everybody says, oh, you look so happy in pink. Oh, I love you in pink. It's because I love me in pink. So also find your color. I wanted to wear all beige to Europe, and everyone went, don't do that. Wear some color. Okay. Ordinarily, on a trip to Europe, and especially if it's a business trip, as this one mostly is, I would not in any way want to bring colors like pink or apple green, but in a truly visual world, to express my happiness, because honestly, I never thought I was going to get back to Europe again after I went through breast cancer. This is celebration of life trip as well. And, big part of my life is business and is fashion. So celebration of life is really, really three-dimensional for me. Now, I want you to do a wardrobe audit. Go through your closet, pick out the pieces that you absolutely love the most, and ask yourself why. And honestly, and I tried to do it the other day, and I was so unsuccessful at it. I picked out the stuff. I went through all my t-shirts, what I wear, what I don't wear, what is messed up, what got shrunk, what got shredded. And I didn't have the discipline to throw them out. I just put them in another closet that was further away from my changing area. Unbelievable. Truly. I'm a hoarder, and I'll bet you a lot of you guys are too. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with it, because that trench coat I'm taking to London is 20 years old. It still fits. It still looks great. And if I wasn't a hoarder, I wouldn't have it. But soon I'm going to have to really edit down my closet, because I do have a zillion blazers and a lot of them don't fit anymore. So here we go. What you choose for intentional dressing should express the authentic you, but also the you that you want to be. I will say that the essence of what I want to portray when I go to Europe, and probably meet a lot of younger women who are in power positions, I want to portray somebody who is sincere, but somebody who is definitely elevated. And wardrobe can do that for you. And that is what I call a performing wardrobe. It's a wardrobe that does you a favor every time you wear it. Color philosophy. Color philosophy, I think, is all about happiness. So I've got blazers in pink, in very, very pale lime green, apple green, sky blue. But I chose the pink because that makes me the happiest. And I think that's also the most universal. But that goes along with confidence boosting pieces. Now, bright clothing is not where my confidence boosting style comes in. That's more for photo ops. My confidence boosting is way more into black suiting with a simple white t-shirt, or neutral suiting. But I want to show more diversity. And then we're going to talk about intentional dressing with signature style. And this may be tough for some of you if you are in your late 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you're just getting to be an empty nester. You may say to yourself, what signature style? I was a mom. I was in, a pair of leggings and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt for 20 years, taking care of my kids. My kids always came first. Well, not anymore. Now it's time, an important time, to rediscover you, because you may want to go into a profession later in life. Who are you going to be? How do you want people to see you? Fashion is an incredible calling card. And I say for at least a European trip, but that everything I'm saying to you today about my own wardrobe works for me for New York City, Manhattan as well. It's statement pieces. It's look at me, respect me, become interested in me because you think I have a powerful story to tell and want to get to know me kind of wardrobe. So I think the biggest challenge for us as a group and a community is wherever you are in life, redefining yourself. I can tell you, I'm about to have my 79th birthday. Arg! Wow. Okay. Where are the other glamorous older women? Because that's the position I took. I took an overview of what has been my personal journey all my life, and it's been working at doing two things I truly loved. Fashion, number one, big and designer. I just ate it, breathed it, slept it. I 24/7 saturated myself in fashion and loved it. And the other thing is, when you get older, and especially when you come out of a life-threatening disease like cancer, breast cancer, and now your hair grows back, and you have to reform who you are. You have to reinvent yourself. And I know that sounds like a huge deal, but guess what? It's actually really fun. Take a few minutes out of every day and ask yourself who you are. Ask yourself how other people want to see you. And I will tell you, and I mean this 150%, you will not believe the respect you will garner, the opportunities that will be presented to you, the new, friendships that will come alive and be born. And all of that comes out of respecting yourself enough to reinvent your own image. Because as you go from your 40s into middle age, your 50s, and you go through that change in life, whole other ballgame. And then as you go into your late 60s and your 70s and your 80s, there's no one. We're talking about a wasteland here, girls, where there's no one I can turn to and say, oh, yeah, I love the way she does that. I've got to try that or get it. Yeah, there's a few, just a few out there. Helen Mirren, Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda. But there's not 1,000 women out there where you can start to draw from what they're doing. And they've got unlimited budgets and they're TV stars or movie stars. So there, I really, as I came out of breast cancer, had to ask myself, okay, Diane, slate is clean. Your hair is going back. It's like what was a quarter of an inch long. Who do you want to be? How do you want to reinvent yourself? So, especially for you guys that are leaving the corporate world, especially for you guys who are becoming empty nesters, it's time to rethink yourself. And you'll have plenty of images, whether it's on social media or it's on television, and you can try to sort of figure out. And you can do it with your existing wardrobe, but the fun news is you may have to buy a few new pieces. So go for it. I think that very soon on social media and on some of the top shopping sites for social media, you will be able to create your own avatar and then fool around and dress yourself and figure out what looks best on you and what does this image mean. I tend to, I'm sure a lot of you will not be surprised by this, have a very big, bold look and personality. What is the number one thing I have to watch out for? Being unapproachable. Yep. I have to make myself friendly, approachable. And that's not easy to do when you want to be a glamour girl, because usually glamour is very competitive, and very much you're putting off everybody else, and they're looking at you and saying, ooh, I'll bet you she's difficult. I'll bet you she's doesn't want to talk to me. That is the absolute opposite is true. But it does happen that when you get into that reinvention and that mindful dressing, you should take a look at all sides of it. Because honestly, I'm going to New York and I've never met any of these women before. The women that are part of the authorship, yes, we've had virtual meetings, but most of them are like relaxing at home or driving in a car, taking their kids to school or whatever. And it's not that mindful dressing. But now imagine the power you can hold in yourself by dressing to an aspirational you, an inventional you. You can invent a new you. It's almost like all those Marvel comic book movies we see, where they're just like a normal teenager and then suddenly they become Spider-Man and they have all these incredible advantages. Do that for yourself. So we want you to choose confidence building pieces. We want you to go into color psychology. And I think probably most of you are a lot more pro color than me. And we want you to find your signature style. And if you were an older girl like me, if you're in your late 60s or your 70s, you know what a wasteland fashion is for us. Nobody gives us anything to wear that takes into account where our bodies go after menopause. Nobody cares about us on the retail market. I think that's total suicidal insanity. We're the spending power of America. Nobody gives us instruction, but I'm giving you instruction. That period of your life that I call your third act, that is undiscovered territory. And therefore, you can be anybody you want to be. Do you want to be granola grandma? Go for it. Long tiered skirts, easy flowing linen embroidered tops, kind of boho. Hey, great look. Do it. But you got to study it a little first. And you've got to, I think the other really big discipline in life is don't try to go back. Yeah, okay, I'm wearing a trench coat from 20 years ago, but that's because I love that trench coat, and trench coats have just become a perennial. Here is the other thing I would say. Try and do a mindful daily dressing routine. Now, that is easier said than done. And in New York, where if you step out the door to go to the local Whole Foods, you've got to dress up. I was amazed also when I went through chemotherapy. Oh my God, Manhattan women. These women would come in for chemotherapy, have your body blasted out by chemicals, and they would be wearing Christian Louboutin high heels. I'm not kidding you. Chanel suits. I mean, they were mindful, and I felt what they were saying, and I was wearing my own kind of power dressing was, yeah, I'm going through therapy, but you can't get me down. I'm still me. So in all of this, I say also, if you love sportswear the way I do, just go to my Amazon storefront and you'll see all these great prices for really high quality layering pieces. Because to me, if you're going to make that hero piece the best blazer you own, you want a quality looking layering piece, but not something that totally takes the eye away from where your primary vision should be. Start each day with intention and be a new you. Nobody can stop you but you. I also, after chemo, because I took so many steroids, I gained 30 pounds during treatment. I had to lose that weight. I couldn't even, I was trying to start on a new me, but 30 pounds heavier, 35 pounds heavier, that was not the new me I wanted to be. So if any of you out there are saying, I'm just beginning to go through menopause, I gained a ton of weight, you got to incorporate in your new reinvention the fact that those are your goals, to become a smaller body, to make, and believe me, now that I'm down in weight, it is so much simpler to be the invention of me. And once you do that, you'll be amazed. You will pull a whole new set of acquaintances to you, and you may go off in a direction like I'm going off in, where I walked away from 30 years on QVC and HSN. I walked away from 50 years in fashion and said, I don't want to be a one-note song. Could I be an author? And yeah. And illogically enough, at 78 years old, I've been so far this year the cover of 2. Oh, I can't believe this. Well, I guess the universe is celebrating the fact that I was cover girl for 2 magazines and the proud author of Women Thrive 3. I am chapter 3. And I am really proud of the writing I did. Perfect? No. Really good enough to say, yep, this is the direction I'm going to take for part of the rest of my life? Absolutely. And to back that image up, when I go to Europe and I speak on stage at a summit for female empowerment, I'm going to look empowered. I'm going to look like that powerful older woman that everyone would like to be when they grow up. So, ladies, without further ado, I need you to head right to your closets and start weeding out the stuff you're truly never going to wear again. And I will be right behind you. I'm doing that this weekend, difficult as it might be. And I do want to announce with a huge thank you to our audience that FeedSpot just rated us on YouTube as the number 3 in podcasts for best women over 50 podcasts. Yay! Thank you so much. I love it. I take it so to heart. And I hope I represent to you an authentic, joyful, healthful, well-purposed road to growing older. It's not a punishment. It is a privilege. And this decade, my 70s, have been some of the most fabulous moments of my life. Truly. I've hit a lot of highs. And so with that, I say, let's get shopping. Let's figure out our capsule wardrobe. I would love to hear from you about who you want to be and who you think you are when you dress. And never mistake the fact that fashion can be powerful. Thanks for joining us for Fashion Thursdays with Diane. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.